Hello, grade 10 students! Here I am again. This time, this video is just for some clarifications on the outputs that you are going to submit. I have here the list of activities that you have to finish. In lesson 1, you are going to submit these tasks only. Assessment task 7 and task 8. And for lesson 2, task 2, task 3, and task 6, that's for this week. That's what you're going to pass to your kagawad or to me online this week. For lesson 3, kindly reserve that for next week. And for lesson 3, you're going to finish task 6, task 7, task 8, and of course, your post-test. I have posted in our group the answer key for the activities in this module. So please, since it's a self-learning module, go over your answers, review your answers. Tama ba yung mga sinagot ko? Okay ba yung mga sagot ko? O ano ba yung naging mali ko? Okay, so you have to have self-check. Alright, so let's go over the module. So this is the module that I gave you. Hindi ko nga lang print yung mga preliminaries ng mga iba kasi masyado na siyang mahaba. So here, we have already the answers in the group. So tignan nyo na lang yung mga answers. And so, let's proceed to the important parts only. I know you will get bored watching this video if we go over every part of it. So here, lesson task 3. Think of your most favorite place that you had visited or wanted to visit. Convince everyone why he should visit the place too. Write down all the reasons you could think. Use any strategy or techniques that you know in persuading people. Make a title for this article and write this on a 1-page short sized bond paper. This is for task 3. I did not require you to work on task 3 anymore. However, let me see who watched this video until this part. If you have answer for task 3 already, kindly submit it to me. Send it to me in my messenger, or just let me know if you have submitted that in the Google Classroom so I can post it in the group as an example, and of course I'll be giving you additional point for that, additional grade for those who will be able to submit to me task 3. Okay, now let's talk about different persuasive techniques. In the previous lesson, in my previous discussion, I told you that when we talk of persuasive text, we do everything we can in order for our readers to believe in what we are telling. We have to encourage them, motivate them, convince them to change their mind or to touch their emotions. What else? What did we discuss last time? And to make changes. Now, our main focus in this module is to learn about persuasive techniques and devices. How are we going to persuade them? How are we going to convince them? There are different ways on how we can convince them. The first one is appeal to authority. From the word itself, authority, we are going to make use of famous people. Famous. We are going to make use of famous people or experts that can make our argument more convincing. And a research on the topic can even make the argument more persuasive. Okay? So, like, for example, if you're talking about brand, then you have to make use of celebrities, probably, or Korean superstars. I don't know any of them. Anyway, next is appeal to reason. Appeal to reason. The word reason means facts, data. It means it's based on something that is very reliable. So, example here is 2 cups of rice have 412 calories. That's too high. Okay, so if you notice, that's appealing to reason. Why? Because it is using a fact. It even counted the number of calories of rice, just like what my co-teacher does. Number 3, appeal to emotion. this is making people feel happy, sad, or angry, that can actually make your argument more convincing. Okay, example is, your donation might just help a cancer to survive. Oh, sorry, it should be a cancer patient to survive. It's the mistake of the module. Number 4, appeal to trust. This is actually something that innate in us. Ibig sabihin, ada kanyati talaga detan. If you are someone who is trustworthy, there is a greater chance that people will believe what you are writing. However, if you are writing about the bad effects of smoking and people know that you are actually smoking in real life, then even if your text is very convincing, it's still not a good persuasive device. Why? Because it is lacking in the appeal to trust. Because if the readers already know you, then how would they believe you? They don't trust you because they know that you are actually writing something against what you are actually doing. Okay, the next one is plain folks. If you are an average Joe, when we say average Joe, you are an average person, an ordinary person, tay makarelate da kanya, then people will believe you. Example, a politician says, I'm going to give each family a sack of rice. So this politician is trying to be an average Joe, trying to mix in with the crowd. Okay? Next, bandwagon. Ito ang uso eh. Kung anong uso, yun ang sinusunod. Kaya nga siya tinawag na bandwagon. 90 out of 100 ladies prefer our soap. So, parang sinasabi mo, believe me because this is what's in. Ito yung uso. Okay? Next is rhetorical question. Rhetorical questions are not intended to be answered. They are a way to state the obvious. Examples of rhetorical questions that we know, that are very familiar to us. Okay, who wouldn't like to be rich? There are also questions like, are you kidding me? Can birds fly? Who cares? Those are rhetorical questions. When you say rhetorical questions, they don't need to be answered because they are actually stating the obvious already. And the next is repetition. Repeated information makes people remember it and they believe on. The politician declared, we will fight, come what may. We will fight on all the fronts. We will fight for 1,000 years. That is the repetition of the word fight. So, it's repetition means reiterating, talaga nga ipagpaganatkit mo, you give stress on it. Number 9, exaggeration. Dito itihilig yung exaggeration. It's an overstated statement, making it believable. Like, if you want to let them believe that the Royal is the best drink in the world, then you would say, this is the best drink in the world. That's exaggeration because it's actually one of the 3 drinks that you have actually tasted since birth. So, paano masasabi that it is the best drink in the world, right? Next, alliteration. Alliteration, the repetition of a consonant sound at the beginning of 2 or more words. Seashells in a seashore, that's an example of repetition of consonant sound. Okay. Ngayon, how are we going to use it in a persuasive text? Here, the example is, please put away your plate and practice the piano. You see? It's a persuasive text about the essence of piano, but it used alliteration. Please put away your plate and practice the piano. 11, anecdotes. A short account of a particular event, especially of an amusing nature. For example, last weekend when I went shopping, I walked so fast, then I stumbled on the floor. It's just a particular event. Okay, but it's amusing. There's something that happened. Okay, it might be embarrassing or something special. Number 12, speaking directly to the reader. I believe that this is one of the most effective means of persuading other people. Just like what I told you in our previous module, you have to imagine that there is an audience. You have to imagine that you are really persuading someone to believe you. That means you have to know your audience. You have to have an audience in your mind in order for you to become an effective persuasive writer. And the last one is imperative. Imperative means agbabaon. You're making a change. It's a command. Imperative has two types. It's either a command or a request. So making something sound necessary and critical. For example, stop playing computer games and study. Okay? For task 4, identify the persuasive technique. Okay, we have the answers in our group. Kindly look into the answers. Eto na. Let's go over task 7. This is very important. In 5 sentences, answer the question, why is education very important? If possible, use 2 or 3 persuasive devices. So you have to identify what kind of persuasive device you're going to use in each sentence. 5 sentences. You're going to answer the question, why is education very important? So if you want to make a sentence with exaggeration, then you think of an exaggerated statement that would answer that question. Okay? If you want to appeal to not appeal to trust. If you want to have repetition, then you choose what word you're going to repeat. Choose a word which you're going to repeat in a sentence for emphasis. And rhetorical question, bandwagon, no. Appeal to emotion. You can also have this in your answer. Appeal to emotion. Think of something emotional that would carry your readers as you answer the question, why is education very important? Okay? I'll give an example. Education is very important because its absence will make the world stop turning. That is an example of exaggeration. Agsardeng, agpuligos ti lubong, no awan iti education. Okay? So you are going to create 5 sentences. Task 8, also, you're going to answer this. Ang dali lang, nandun na yung answers anyway. But let me see if you have watched this video para makita ko kung sino talaga yung nanonood at hindi. Lesson 2. Okay, let's proceed to lesson 2. Lesson 2 is a bit more difficult than lesson 1. You are expected to compose a persuasive text of 3 paragraphs expressing one's stand on the issue. In task 2, eto ang gagawin ninyo. Suppose you are watching the news and television about a proposed bill on implementing death penalty for heinous crimes of our country. What is your stand on the issue? What is your stand, or what can you say regarding the issue? Give reasons to defend your stand. Put your answers in your notebook using the table below. But of course, you just write it on a paper. Do you agree with the implementation of death penalty? If you agree, what is your reason or your reasons? If you disagree, same question, what are your reasons or what is your reason? You are required to work on this task. Kailangan mag-isip. Task 3 also, you base your answers in task 2. Go back to your answer in task 2 and give 3 more reasons to stand, to your stand. So, based from your reason in task 2, you think of 3 more reasons. When you say 3 more reasons to stand, you justify the reason. Okay? You elaborate your reason. Alright? So, that's for lesson 2. Okay? For this part, In task 3, or in what is it, I have discussed this in the previous video, the different parts of persuasive text. And I have also discussed this in our Google Meet session last week. For task 4, you will not do that anymore. But I want you to practice writing thesis statement. What do we mean by thesis statement? That is the key point of a paragraph, of an essay. When we say key point, that is the main point of the essay. What is your essay all about? By just looking at your thesis statement, okay, naniniwala siya na hindi maganda ang death penalty, ganon. Okay? Task 6. Write a slogan about your stand on death penalty. Write this on a short bond paper. I appreciate those who have already posted their slogan in our thread, in our group thread. In there, you can use a bond paper and a ball pen or any writing material, or you can also edit a picture, just edit a text, lay it out on a picture, and you are good to go. Just post it in our group thread. Alright? So that's for lesson 2. Pagkatapos niyan, you are now ready to pass your work to your kagawad or to me online. Because for the lesson 3, you will not do this yet. Task 7, alam ko ang dami-dami yung ginagawa. There had been so many writing activities in the first module. Ayoko namang matrauma kayo with your English subject, so you will not do task 7 anymore. But then, okay, you may start working on lesson 3 already, because this is going to be more difficult. Okay? So in lesson 3, this is writing a persuasive text. Ito na. It's like adding all together what you have learned in the previous lessons. Okay? You are expected to identify the parts of persuasive essay. You know that already. And of course, to compose a persuasive essay. For task 1, ito, persuasive text is, tapos na tayo dyan. We have discussed that. Isa na tayo. Okay, now that you already recalled the meaning of persuasive text, this time you're going to write down one issue that you can see in the society today. For example, the issue on the coronavirus 2019. So, yon. Okay, libtawan data. Okay, paulit-ulit niyang dinidiscuss yung parts of persuasive text. Pangatlong discussion na to since we started. So, I believe we don't have any problem with that anymore. Task 5. Choose one topic below and make a thesis statement. Explain why you chose this topic. Write your answers in your notebook. Are you in favor of the anti-terrorism bill? Anti-terrorism bill is beneficial to the people of the Philippines for their security. That can be a good thesis statement already. By that alone, you would say that the writer is in favor. Okay? Are cats better than dogs as pet? What can you say about that? What is your stand? Does social media improve or hurt our society? Social media heals our society. Pro yun. Social media destroys relationships among peers. Negative yon. Okay? So, depende. Your thesis statement depends on your stand. You make a thesis statement depending on your stand. Okay? Should sex education be taught to high school students? So, yon. Now, ito ang gagawin ninyo. On a short bond paper, construct a persuasive essay using the guide above on the topic. Should ABS-CBN be allowed to air back? I know some of you have watched news regarding the issue on the closure of ABS-CBN. And probably some of you already missed ABS-CBN shows. But then, I know some of you also are happy with the closure of this station. Now, it's time for you to construct a persuasive essay. Should ABS-CBN be allowed to air back? You have to be clear with your thesis statement. Once I read your persuasive text in the first part, I should already see your stand. Hindi yung paligoy-ligoy ka. Remember, when we talk of persuasive essay, you should go straight to your point. Okay? So that's it. For task 7, this is a true or false only activity. You're going to answer that. And for task 8, eto. This is easy, but I don't want you to have same answers. Give 3 reasons why students are not allowed to have face-to-face learning modality nowadays. Write your answers in your answer sheet. And congratulations, we are now done with Module 2, and of course, you have to do the post-test. I think you don't need to do this anymore because I have sent the answer key in our group. So that's it for Module 2. If you have any more questions, please feel free to message me, or feel free to post on the comment box so that other students can also see it, and the other students can see my answer as well. Remember, you have to write persuasive texts. There are many texts that you're going to write. So please do it at times when you are comfortable to write. Hindi pwedeng pinipilit ang pagsulat, mga anak. Kung wala ka pang naiisip na isulat, you have to relax your mind first and then you write. Okay? Let's relax. Let's just hope that everything will go back to normal soon. Goodbye for now, grade 10. See you next week.